Calvin, you can finish that year in Jacksonville, but after that, I mean, you can come to Atlanta if you want. You did say it was still a home for you. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So the long-awaited video for which free agents should the Falcons at least consider targeting in 2023 is finally here. Now, with all of that being said, there is some housekeeping to go over before we get started. Number one, I'm not going to go over Lamar Jackson. You guys know my stance on that. Personally, I think we should take this time to develop a team around Desmond Ridder and see what he's got for a year. The inner part of me would be excited if we actually did get Lamar Jackson. I admit it, but if I were the GM, I would at least try to use all of this cap space to build a team around Desmond Ridder. Which kind of leads to the second thing I was going to say is, this video isn't necessarily predicting which free agents land with the Falcons. It's more of, if the Falcons got these players, I would think that this is a great fit for them. Or if I were the GM, these are the players I would at least consider getting. And hopefully we can get at least 2 or 3 big name free agents this year, because we have the second most cap space in the league. I don't know about you, but as a Falcons fan, I'm so tired of every single free agency being this cute little, oh, well, we got this player that has done basically nothing in the NFL, but he likes to play for Atlanta, so maybe it'll work out. No, get impacts. Literal, big, legitimate, great, elite impacts in free agency. You're telling me that with the second most cap space in the league, we can't get any big name? Not even more than one? No. This is the year where we finally turn it around. My expectations, unfortunately, are kind of low for the Falcons to do anything huge in this offseason. I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm basically saying it is time to get legitimate impacts. So with all that being said, let's get straight into it. The first player is Jessie, the safety from the Bengals. I'm not going to go over this one for too long either because, you know, I've made a video already going over it and I've answered some mailbag questions over it. We get it. Like, Jessie Bates is a safety, which the Falcons do need a safety. Jessie Bates is an elite player. He has chemistry with the Falcons. We saw a video where he was having this dinner with Kyle Pitts, AJ Terrell, and Casey Hayward. So maybe they're trying to recruit him. I don't know. Point is, I think everyone's all in on Jessie Bates for the Falcons, and hopefully this happens. The next player is Javon Hargrave on the defensive line for the Eagles. Grady Jarrett would like to stop being basically the only pass rusher on the Falcons, basically. And also, we have a new defensive line specialist, defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, and I think he would like to work with more than just Grady Jarrett. I think this makes a lot of sense, and for whatever it's worth, Javon Hargrave did work alongside some Super Bowl players, so maybe he has some things to teach for young players like Arnold Ebiketie. And kind of another reason it would make sense to get him is because he's kind of a veteran. I think it would be nice to see Arnold Ebiketie grow a little bit as such a young NFL player with Grady Jarrett and Javon Hargrave. And Ryan Nielsen, the pass rush specialist. I think this makes a lot of sense. Speaking of pass rush, the next player might trigger you at first, but I think this actually kind of makes sense. Marcus Davenport, defensive line for the Saints. Now, I know it's a Saints player, but let's take the rivalry aside. Marcus Davenport is actually a pretty good defensive lineman, and two things. One, I don't know why, but the Saints have been giving the Falcons some of their best guys, like Ryan Nielsen and Terry Fontenot. They gave us Tyler Davison. He did okay for us, so it's not that crazy to think that Marcus Davenport could come to Atlanta, considering the Saints are trying to be nice to us for some reason. But two, it also kind of leads into, he did work with Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen really knows how to develop a pass rush, and Marcus Davenport was one of the elite pass rushers that he coached up. And again, Grady Jarrett would like to have more help alongside him, and, you know, Arnold Ebiketie could use some help to develop. I know that might trigger you because it's like Marcus Davenport is a Saint, but like take the rivalry aside. I think this actually could kind of make a lot of sense. Again, pass rush help, veteran to coach up the young guys, and he is familiar with Ryan Nielsen. I don't know, just a thought. The next player is Jordan Poyer, the safety from the Bills. If we can't acquire Jessie Bates, I am totally okay with Jordan Poyer. Great safety and, well, honestly, basically everything I said about Jessie Bates is how I feel about Jordan Poyer. It's a need, great safety, and I don't know if he's necessarily had a dinner and talking with Falcons players like Jessie Bates did, but again, if we just can't get Jessie Bates, hey, I'm okay with Jordan Poyer. The next player is Tremaine Edmunds, another Bills player, but he's a linebacker. Linebacker is actually kind of a sneaky need for the Falcons. I do like Michael Walker, and I do like Troy Anderson, but I don't feel great about them necessarily. Not only could you get Tremaine Edmunds, a legitimate impact at linebacker that our defense could desperately use, but again, a veteran. Actually, he's kind of been in the NFL for a little while now. He could coach up Troy Anderson and maybe even Michael Walker. Michael Walker has been in the NFL for not too long. He's still pretty young. So, I don't know. I think it'd be worth the investment. And you don't even have to give him, like, too big of a deal because linebacker, it's an important position, but on the defense, it's probably the least important position. So you could give him like a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, somewhere around there. But it'd be kind of nice to have a veteran linebacker. And then these last two players are wide receivers. I will say, if there's any team looking for a wide receiver in free agency, this isn't necessarily the hottest year for it. Like, yeah, there's Juju Smith-Schuster. But the other players, like, it's not that they suck. It's just like, it's not the greatest options you've ever seen, but these are the two wide receivers that I have for us. I think I actually said this player in last year's free agency video, like one of the free agents the Falcons should target. I can't remember, but I was high on DJ Chark, a wide receiver, but this time he was from Detroit. Now, yeah, he is injury prone, and he has kind of lost a little bit of what he once was not that long ago, but I think he still could be a pretty good option for us. He's still a young player, and Arthur Smith, I do still believe in him. If there's any coach to turn a player's career around, I do still believe it is the same coach that was able to turn Cordero Patterson's career around, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. I still believe in Arthur Smith, and I think if DJ Chark wants to not necessarily turn his career around, but just kind of revive it a little, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing, but like revive it as in he was good, but let's get him better, I guess, is DJ Chark and Arthur Smith. I think they could actually really work out here. DJ Chark, he's maybe not the biggest wide receiver, but I don't know. I still think we could use a little bit of speed and just a quick agility receiver instead of only these bigger bodied receivers that Arthur Smith keeps trying to get. So I think we could maybe use a little bit of a difference at wide receiver is what I'm trying to say. And then the other receiver is Robert Woods from the Titans. Now, he has been in the NFL for a long time. I think he's been here since 2013, which is 10 years ago. So he's a veteran. That's another reason we could get him. I know I keep saying this in basically every video this year, but we could use some veterans to coach up some of these young guys. The Falcons are a young team, but I don't want them to be only young. It'd be kind of nice to have some coaches here. Not just literal coaches, but veterans that could coach up these young guys. And Robert Woods has been kind of an impactful player as of late. Maybe not who he once was in 2019 or something, but he can still play a little bit, and I think it'd be kind of nice to see if we could give him at least like a 1-year deal or 2-year deal. But that's all I really got. Let's hope for the best. Thank you guys for the support, and if you have not already seen on the community tab, you can answer or you can ask any mailbag question you have for me. Whatever question you have for me, I will answer your question this Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. I can't wait to see you all then. And as always, stay safe and rise up.